Hey everybody, and welcome back to Game Informer's new gameplay today live. We're doing it live today. I'm Dan Tack. I'll be your host today for Outriders. We're going to be looking at my cool Technomancer here. We are in the beginning of the post game, so you don't really have to worry about any story spoilers because there's no more story at this point. Or if there is, we ain't going to see it because it'll be too far ahead. But this is sort of the end game structure of the game. So we'll walk through it together and we'll take a look at it. And I'll show you how things work here in the end game. So I said there's not going to be any spoilers, but I mean some of these characters are from the story, but they don't. There's not going to be story beats here, so don't worry about that. This
Outrider,
gentleman here
you gave me the opportunity to be the person I wanted.
is Tiago, and Tiago sells us stuff for drop resources, which are the end game resource that we get from doing drop pod expeditions. These are very expensive, but they are very good. As you can see, these are level 35 items, and they even offer level 45 legendary pieces. This is really, really, really good stuff. However, you'll also notice that the price for these is pretty high. This sweet level 45 chest piece, for instance, costs 3,616 drop pod resources. I've got 50. Obviously, as you begin to challenge higher tier stuff, you will be able to get more and more of these drop pod resources per run. But you're not going to start out being able to do that stuff. So that's something to keep in mind for sure. We've got, we got legendary weapons, level 45. It's all like level 45 stuff here. And I would love to have any of these legendary items on my character. These do absurd damage, Depending on your spec, we're going to look at a spec here in a moment. For instance, this iceberg does around 4 times, a little bit more than my current sniper rifle does, so the difference between a level 30 weapon, which is where around thereabouts you're going to finish the story campaign, and a level 45 is extremely significant, not even counting the legendary abilities and effects on this gun. So it's a really big deal. So this is where you can trade in your drop pod resources, which are basically the endgame currency, which is vastly superior to anything that you can collect during the normal game.
Hey, you. You did good.
This is the appearance changer. You'll be familiar with this if you've even started the game, as it's in the first hub and everywhere around it. Just a sec, I'm gonna send a quick message to the video team over at home base to make sure we got everything working. That's me, Mr. Shadow Badger. Welcome. We're going over some end game stuff today, and it's a very long, it's a lengthy sort of
Outrider.
End game kind of thing. Very similar in some respects to, Diablo 3's Greater Rift system. So if you do want to keep playing after the campaign, you've got stuff to do. It's going to be a little grindy for sure, but you do have activities. And we're going to look at my spec first, because everyone's been asking about that. So, before we get into any kind of dungeons, as they may be, little sort of missions, we're going to check out my spec. So, I'm a Technomancer, and you can take a Technomancer in basically 3 main directions with your spec. The Shaman, which is more focused on healing and gadgetry. The Demolisher, which is focused on sort of like the rocket launchers and the missiles and fun stuff like that. Skill-based, a little bit more skill-based in terms of like using your skills and moves. Hey, it's great to see you in chat. Thank you, Leon. I hope you're having a great day. Feel better. I am the Pestilence spec, which is all about ARs and sniper rifles and making you do incredible damage with those. So I excel with this spec at single target damage. I am really, really good. Yeah, I definitely Van Aken. I cannot see on YouTube right now. But I will field any questions you want to fire over from there, but that's going to be a whole to-do. Maybe I should pull it up. Hey, Johnny, what's up? Anyway, yeah, Pestilence spec. This is the spec you pick as a Technomancer if you love sniper rifles, long-range damage, huge single-target damage. Of course, this comes with some, There's checks and balances. I am very weak up close. I have big problems when a lot of the rushing monsters get in close to me. So it's really helpful to team up. I would say anything in the end game of this game is sort of designed for team play. It really, really, really helps to have partners to go into this expedition content. Mel, we're going to get to that in a second. First, I wanted to explain how Pestilence goes. The world tier is irrelevant here, Rock, at expedition mode, because you go on expeditions that are essentially world tiers. I will show you. Once you're in the post game, the world tier means a lot less. But I think we have it on 3 right now. We'll just turn it up to the highest. But I don't know if that's even relevant when you do expeditions. I don't think it is. Okay. Now, back to the actual what we were discussing, our class here. This is a Pestilence spec Technomancer. So again, extreme glass cannon, single target damage. Alright, I can kill bosses incredibly fast. I just mow them right down. But, obviously, I run into a lot of problems from close range. I will get to everybody's questions as soon as I can. I just want to talk for a minute about the spec. The skills I'm using for this spec, because Pestilence is really heavy on decay effects. When I trigger a decay effect on my enemy, I get big damage bonuses. Not to mention that the toxic stuff does tons of damage itself. So, in my skill kit, I have both of the skills that convey toxic at the base level. You can use mods to put toxic on other things, but I'm using both the Blight Turret, which puts toxic on enemies, and Bladed Rounds, which also put toxic on enemies. Once I have an enemy toxic, it's game over. Like, they're gonna take damage incredibly fast. They're gonna get blown up. So I'm very good at killing bosses, at killing big units, killing armored units, and killing heavy artillery units that are in the back. I am not good at fighting up close. It is my big weakness, and I will die very quickly. I get chopped up. So it would behoove me to pair up with a Devastator or another class that can play closer with a shotgun or an SMG. And also, I'm also using Cryo Turret, because despite this not being a build that relies on Cryo is gotta be, in my experience, one of the most powerful effects in the entire game. Freezing an opponent gives you so much time to do whatever you need to do, whether it's run away, find some cover, or just shoot him in the head. You've got that opportunity. I think freezing is probably the strongest status effect in the game at the base level, without taking into consideration any modifiers. Which, of course, you're going to do lots of modification to your weapons and mods. Alright. Now to handle chat's question. You read about this game is boring even after playing for 13 hours. Is that true? Is the game fun? The shooting is fun, and the customization is fun. I do not know if this is going to be an infinity game for you. I think that's a big question a lot of people have. Are they going to keep playing this game week after week, month after month? I don't think so. But I am not doing the official review at Game Informer. But if you like a looter shooter experience that'll take you a couple weeks to get through, and then a little longer depending on how far you want to engage with the expedition content that I'm going to show you in a minute, that's up to you. But this is not a service title, okay? You're not going to play this forever like you are Destiny or one of those other games, all right? I got to make that very clear for me discussing my own enjoyment factor of this game. I don't think I'm going to be playing this game in a week. Have I had fun with it? Yes, I like the shooting. I like the looting, and I like the customization. I don't think the skill trees are very involved. I don't really think those are great, but if you're a looter shooter, in my mind, and if you can get the looting and the shooting right, I don't really care about the rest a whole lot. So I've had a pretty good time with it. It doesn't have to be my forever game. Hey, Mad Probe, what's up? This is Outriders. Okay, so we're looking at the endgame system now that I've gone over my spec a little bit. This is called Expeditions. As you can see, Expeditions go up to this tier level of 15 plus for the Eye of the Storm content, whatever that is. We are not even close to doing that. This is the content that you're going to get kicked out into at the top level. When you're level 30 and you finish the campaign, I was actually a little lower than level 30. When you finish the campaign, you go into this expedition content. These are kind of like rifts, except they're not really procedurally generated levels, but you can dial up and down how difficult they are. And that will dial up and down your rewards, including your drop pod capsules. And to do higher drought palette, like this one. This one's tier 4 better, and I'll need 60 drop capsules just to land. So I'm going to want to probably bring a friend and have a plan going into that, because it's going to cost me resources to get into it. So will you be playing as long as Titanfall? I haven't played Titanfall 2, Mr. Thrash and Trash, so I can't compare it directly to that. It's not really the same kind of shooter in my mind at all. This is a progression game, right? This is about tinkering with modifications on your weapons, finding new loot, and grinding through dungeons, for lack of a better term. We're going to do one now and see if we can handle it. So you're going to be doing tons of these different expeditions at the end game, all right? And their availability changes. Some of them, like this one, for instance, says I've got to be at least tier 4 to do it. So the minimum of this expedition is tier 4. So we're not really ready for that. We're fresh out of campaign. We're going to be doing like tier 1 and 2 missions. So there's no cost to do those, and they might be challenging, they might not be. But you can dial down your experience on these base level ones. So let's see, I can set my tier down here. And the rewards and the timer, you've got like you're against the clock, and you have to win too, which can be challenging. In these experiences, you're going to have, it's basically like 4 or 5 big arena fights and then a boss, okay? And if you can do it, you get all the loot. If you die, you do get the loot that you got during the run, but you don't see that loot pop up during the run, which is why I compare it to a Diablo 3 Greater Rift, because you'll just basically get all the loot at the end of it, win or lose. Now, obviously, you want to win. You'll get way more. And you want to play it on the highest tier you can. I do not think that can beat a tier 4 enemies and level loot 35 run by myself. I just don't think I can do it. So we're going to be a little bit more reasonable. How challenging do you want me to make it, Chad? What do you think? I'm willing to do whatever you want. You want me to push tier 4, I'll do it. But we will get annihilated. I want you to know that. 8. I can't go to 8 yet, Venture, but that's a good number. I've only got tier 4 unlocked, okay? We can do anything 4 and below. And if you have any other questions about the endgame or anything related to my experiences with Outriders, by all means ask. And now that I've talked for like an hour, I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. Thanks for joining us at Game Informer, and it's great to have you here. Hero says it's Monday, let's do 2. I agree with that. Tier 2, we can get some good upgrades. We'll get some loot. I like it. Let's do 2. Let's just get this party started. You'll have plenty of time to go through some more ranks after we get to see what this experience is like, okay? Let's dive in. I will try to remain as chatty as possible. During the encounter, you're going to see me doing lots of sniping, okay?
I understand you're looking to collect the pods that came raining down. I spotted one for you, but you're not going to like where it landed.
As you can see, each one of these has like a little setup, but it's not like...
What else is up there?
It's just, hey, you're going to a place, you're going to kill a boss, have a good time, get some loot. Once you open up this first like set of rocks or door or whatever it is in the scenario, the timer starts. You get bonuses for doing good timing, okay? So like you're against the clock and you try to survive. So having a build that can kill quickly is very good. Co-op is important, Venture. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I don't know if you were here. For me, especially like a big sniper, co-op is life and death for me. When I start getting charged by enemies, I'm gonna want a tanky guy in front of me to clean up the berserker-style creatures. There's not a whole lot of different kind of units in this game, but they are very good at what they do. And the units that'll move up on you, those are my bane on this class and spec. So it's really helpful to have a tankier class that can handle that kind of crowd control while I try to do my rangy stuff. This is not going well. And you are probably going to struggle a little bit when you come out of the campaign into this scenario. You're going to be under-geared for this experience, fresh out of the campaign, but you will loot up very quickly. And I am not reading chat right now, but I will as soon as we can. You get a break between like each big rush. Like these are all basically isolated arena fights. I'm trying to just get a grasp of the situation here so I can take out these snipers. And I cleaned up the berserkers that were charging me. I've got my big decay rounds ready in case a boss comes out. Those are what I want to use when I really want to punch through some armor, okay? I have a, like, you know, I'm not completely useless at close range. I've got an LMG ready for it, but it's not, it won't save me in a pinch. And I will grab all of your questions and comments in 1 second, because I don't care about the timer. You do get a break between, like, every arena round here. They're all very clearly segmented, arena battles. Now I have the edge. Like, I'm pretty good in a long-range fight. With this class, this weapon. No need for high-powered ammunition here either. These are all smaller units. There will be a need for it, though, I assure you, but it's not this second. And that's my ability number 3, which is decay ammo. Which poisons, pierces armor, and makes me do a ton more damage as part of my spec. As a pestilence technomancer. See that little turret there? It's spewing toxic fumes on that dude, which make him really hurt from my radius. Okay, so we got a boss dude coming up. Watch this. Alright, I just put my big rounds in. I don't even have to hit him in the head. You know, we're talking like massive damage. Like no problem, right? Of course, lots more are on the way. And I'm out of ammo. There are conveniently placed ammo boxes on all of these arenas that you can load up on. I'm not seeing this one though. I really don't want to use my LMG for the rest of this. It's not a bad LMG, by the way, but it's not my my preferred weapon in this kind of situation. Will it get the job done? You bet. But it's not legendary, and the legendaries have really cool mods and perks that can make me clean house even harder. I will get to all the questions in chat as soon as we finish this first wave. We'll take a little break. I don't really care about beating it within the time limit or whatever. You'd think that we'd have a break already, but this just keeps going, man. Okay, well, we're here for it. Get in. As I said, that cryo tower will save you in so many situations. Not only does it interrupt and freeze people from doing, like, their big moves, but, like, if something tries to get on you, it can freeze them, and it's just so valuable. So I use the cryo turret in all of my Technomancer specs, even the ones that aren't gadget focused. And we need to find the ammo crate here. I think I missed it. There it is. I know you got questions. I've got answers, and I can't wait to deliver them. Just a moment. Until then, enjoy the head explodey. This gun is a legendary weapon called the Landlubber, and it actually shoots every like 8 seconds or so. It drops a minefield on my bullets when they connect, which will do a ton of AoE damage to like a group of charging enemies, which is really handy. Not especially against humanoids, but against the non-humanoid opponents that come in big packs. Okay, I think we have a reprieve. Alright, let's see what people are saying out there in Chatlandia. Do the different classes make a huge difference in how the level of missions play out? Not really, no. But you will want to play to your strengths and weaknesses. They do play differently. They do have different specialties. So you should believe the game when it tells you, you know, this is the tank class. This is the sniper class, you know, believe it. Believe them. They mean it. There is a difference in playstyle for sure. Like, big. But it doesn't make any difference in how the stuff plays out. certainly it can be very important to how you approach
The way
different
through to the peak
situations.
is blocked. Must be a way past it.
What up, RPG degree? What a cool name. Go right, go left. I have gone both directions in my day, Connor. I have tried both. Chilling Knight says, is the game similar to Anthem? I couldn't tell you. I never played Anthem. Thanks for being here, everybody. We are checking out Expeditions today in Outriders. This is the post-game content, and if I may say so, the bulk of the content available in the game is in this post-game content sector, which is, you know, you've got a variety of different missions to complete. What tree am I built into? This is the Pestilence spec RPG degree, so I am really, really aces at single target damage. Terrible at close range, but I can snipe with the best of them, and I inflict decay and ruin on my opponents. Like big units, no problem. I get cut up. Little units, kinda not great. So I'm trying to use my mods to help that out, right? I try to use the mods on my weapons to handle my weakness at close range. Chaz Fez, well, I haven't played every game out there, so I couldn't tell you. It has looting and shooting, which have both been done before. You're absolutely right about that. Hey, CW, how you doing today? Welcome. Alright, Connor, I will. Thank you. That's a good tip. RPG degree, that's not a bad tip. Although, typically if I get into a melee situation, you're right. On those little guys that'll work, but I generally want to get out of melee almost as fast as you can believe. I'd rather dodge roll out, because if I stay in the same spot against one of those big guys, they will eat me. If this is endgame, how long did it take you to get to this point? Wow, that's a really good question, CW. I think the campaign took me... I rushed through it. I only did a couple of side missions, which I would advise doing more of. I would have, you know, you get really good loot from those side missions and good XP. I finished the game at 28. I think it took me 10 or 15 hours, I'd say. But I was really head down in the campaign. Like, I was no nonsense, all business. You know, I see a side quest, maybe I'll do it, mostly not. The game encourages you to do side quests, and I recommend you do them. Oh, it looks like this is supposed to be the boss. That's a great question, Venture. I've heard there are endgame sets. I have not discovered any of them yet, because we're just on the endgame. Bone Shrapnel is OP big time. Alright, I gotta find out what Bone Shrapnel is. I don't like the LMG either, but it gets the job done when I'm getting attacked by like 1,000 of these little guys. Which, as you may have noticed, is frequent. Basically, I don't have my like endgame sets or anything, okay? We have just started the endgame, we've just started the expeditions. So I'm basically still using like just the highest item level stuff that I've got, alright? With the exception of my pretty cool legendary sniper rifle. The fireworks blasting landlubber. Which isn't even that strong as these guys.
Looks clear. Time to
Light X says, how are you liking it so far? I like the shooting, I like the looting, and I like the customization. I am not impressed by anything else around that, but as a looter shooter, I mean, what else do you want? I mean, honestly. Bone Shrapnel is OP big time. I need to find that. What is Bone Shrapnel? So yeah, you can rush through the story if you want. I did. I'm very much a systems and mechanics focused player. I wanted to get to this expedition content as soon as possible to start working on, you know, quote-unquote endgame progression, of which there is a significant amount, but it's pretty shallow in terms of what it is. You know, you got X amount of maps to go through over and over as you get better. That's, you know, Hugo, I am not scoring the game at Game Informer. So one of my colleagues, Leanna is doing that. She's very good at what she does, so I'm sure she'll figure out an appropriate score value to put on it. I'm not really going to weigh into a numerical score until then, but I'm certainly willing to talk about how I feel about the pluses and minuses of the game. I am not playing on console, Mr. Jägermeister. I am playing on PC today. I do not like playing shooters with a controller. As a matter of course. I am using mouse and keyboard right now. We got a big one here. As I said, my build can really hurt big dudes, though. That's a technical term. I'm very good at killing bosses. But I have problems with their minions. So is that a mod, Ice Donkey? Or what? Or is that like something in my tech tree? Alright, we got a big bird. See, that I'm telling you, the cryo turret does so much work, like, even when you don't think it's doing work. Oh, you can, yes, there are different builds, Mr. Jägermeister, for the Technomancer. I am playing one of them. I am playing a sniper rifle focused Technomancer build. There are definitely other ways to play one. And we can look at some of them today. But if you do like sniping, Technomancer is the class for you. And if you don't like sniping, maybe another class would fit better. But you're not forced into one style of play for each class. They have a variety that they can all function as. But you are absolutely rewarded for playing within the class's skill set. Now, whether or not that's taken up a sniper rifle is up to you. They can do other things as well. They are also a very effective support class, very good at healing, and very good at gadget use. So, spell damage, I guess is what that would be called. A mod, great. Is it a legendary mod? Yeah, you know, I haven't played on console. All of my gameplay on this puppy has been on PC, so that's all I can speak to accurately. Wow, how's this map not over yet? As you can see, these drop pod expeditions take a while. But again, I am solo, and I'm probably pretty undergeared too, as I am just starting the expedition loop, which the game clearly wants you to be on for quite some time. Photosage says, how do you get to expeditions? Expeditions essentially is the endgame Greater Rift system here that we're doing. You complete the campaign. As soon as you complete the campaign, you are put into expeditions. You do not have to be level 30. I think my expedition started at level 28.
Good call, Dunham.
And they start at 30, so I got smushed a little bit early on, but it was worth it because my gear upgrades were very substantial. Rock, this is currently running on medium. I can run it on a higher, but I want the stream quality to be good. So I am only running on medium today. I can play it on high and ultra. But I didn't want to sacrifice any stream quality for you fine folks today at home. Oh, look at that, man. Ooh! I would like to run some expeditions with people, but I don't think we're having anybody on the stream today except me, sadly. It's funny that you asked that, though, because I kind of want to talk about that. I think expeditions are definitely designed to be group content. Yeah, you can do them solo, and I'm sure in a week or so we'll have, like, YouTube, professional expedition tier 15 solo run, no damage. I'm sure we'll see that. But they definitely see with like what they throw at you that they are more tailored to group content than anything in the campaign. I would love to have a sidekick to help me out. Or two. They throw a lot more dangerous stuff at you at the same time than the standard stuff does. And that's even the low-tier expeditions. I don't even know what the big ones will do, that you have to pay pods to get into. We'll take a look at those, too. I'm dying. It's got me stuck. Oh, God. One second, chat. Things are getting pretty hairy here. It's okay, I played Dark Souls, I know how to roll. Hey, I'm the best joke I've made all day. I bet you loved it. Great joke, right, chat? Okay. Oh gosh, that wasn't even the boss. Yeah, thanks, Aiken. I appreciate that. Yes, Michael, players can drop in and drop out of your game. They can during campaign. I don't know if they make you be there at the beginning and the end of an expedition, though. I don't know if you can join mid-expedition. In normal campaign activities, you can pop in and pop out whenever you want. I'm dead. I can't handle all this.
What happened up there? After killing that horror in the volcano, this shouldn't have been a problem for you. Get back up there and find that pod.
So, we did fail. We can retry the mission from the beginning, I think. Or we can abandon and get the loot that we collected along the way. So, you are likely to fail missions and expeditions, especially when you just get here out of campaign. Due to gear, right? Yeah, retry gives you the loot too. But I don't know if we want to try to crawl through the whole level again. So we're going to abandon. I'll show you what happens if you abandon. We're still going to get all the loot that we earned during the run. We didn't finish the run though, so we ain't getting no drop pods, which is a really important currency. Oh. So yeah, you still get all the rewards. Again, so this is kind of like a greater rift in Diablo. You get all the rewards at the end. You don't have to pick up anything during the way. It's a timed run. You can lower Expeditions tier, absolutely. You can go down, you can play at anything from tier 1 or up. Well, that was a tier 2. I highly recommend playing at the lowest level possible as soon when you get in. So we got a bunch of crafting mats with that, and hopefully maybe some upgrades, I don't know. Yep, we got an upgrade, a new chest piece. We're just going by score here, which is, you know, not an all-encompassing metric, but an important one. Oh, see, this is a bolt action sniper that's better than my legendary. That's a shame. I'll show you how to reduce your tier level routine when we pick our next mission. So people were talking about drop in and drop out. You can drop into my game now while I'm in the hub. You cannot drop into it during an expedition because they are timed, as someone mentioned. You can buy incredible gear here at this dude with your drop pods, okay?
You gave me the
But let me put it to you this way. From completing like 2 tier 1 missions, I've got 60 drop pods. And these legendaries that you can buy off this dude, which are undoubtedly some of the best in the entire game, they're level 45. They cost upwards of 3,000 drop pod resources. So, obviously, the higher tier expeditions you do, the more drop pods you're going to get from your mission. But well, the world tiers do not encompass all of the expedition value. Yeah, you can, Samuel. You can, absolutely. Let me show you how to do that. If you want to go back and do story content, there is a way. I don't know why you would, though, at this point. But let me show you just in case you want to go back and clean up things that you missed. You can select your story point here, which I don't want to click on because, although I think it's ridiculous that you would care about spoilers in this game, given what it is, I won't ruin it for anybody to show the storyline arc. But you're going to click on that to select story point and do your quests, alright? And when you're done with that, you come here to the Outrider Expedition tier. No idea how to get above 42. Again, that's going to be from Expeditions routine. This Eye of the Storm place over here, I'm guessing this is a really big deal for that. This is tier 15 Expeditions. And obviously you've got to push up tiers in the Expeditions. The best I've done is tier 4. Well, that's the best I've unlocked. And it wasn't easy. So, you're saying you were stuck on 4. To change your tier, you go to this menu here. You can't do it like up in that menu there, but you can do it on your individual missions. Click it, and then go up and down. And as you can see, the different reward points and you know, time points and all that other fun stuff before you get to know exactly what's going on before you sign up for an expedition. Now, all that said, again, I think this part of the game especially is very team-focused in comparison to the rest. I am interested to seeing what will happen when we partner up and get some stuff done at this level. It's a difficult solo, but again, gear factors heavily into that. So routine world tiers are basically the expedition basically is its own form of world tier. As you can see here, this tells you what enemies and loot level they are. It's just strictly on the tier, right? So if we assume that tier 1 is level 31, that means tier 15 will be, what, 46, 45, which is like the highest you can get in the game. Yeah, exactly, Mr. Jägermeister. It really does help, I think. Again, I'm speculating a little bit since I've played most of this game solo. But class synergies appear to be much more important here in the expedition part of the game. It is capped at 3, Dredgen. Good question. 3-person gameplay. All right. Well, that was a tier 2 and we got killed, but we did make it to the end before we struggled. Good questions today, though. I like it. Everyone's been really cool. Thanks for hanging out with me this afternoon. I do appreciate it. We're having some fun here at Game Informer with this one. It's nice to have some people join and ask questions. I don't think it's odd. I think they basically... This endgame is like, you know, its own entity. You know what I mean? Like, it's meant to be... It's kind of its own separate kind of scaled experience to the world. And I bet that helped with balancing how these things work in terms of like loot and everything. There's way more awesome loot available at this point in the game, right? But you gotta find it. You gotta get those legendaries, alright? Legendary mods. Okay, we haven't shown anybody the mod system, so let's take a very brief look at that before we move on. You could take a mod from one gun or a piece of armor and put it on any other gun or piece of armor. Thanks, Matthew. I'm gonna level up my my landlubber. Here we go. Boom. Now I got a 10k sniper rifle. Alright, I'm happy. Modding. Any mod that I've disenchanted, I can put into any other gun that I've got. So tier 3 mods are essentially legendary mods. And these are really, really powerful. Obviously, you can only have one of those. But I could change my minefield ability off my gun and put something else in if I wanted to. Or I could change this fireworks thing to something else, like freezing ammo, which is really good. There are all kinds of different things you can do to tailor. Again, this is sort of... Your customization here in terms of modding is really important to both your survivability and your damage output. Yeah, I can put loot in my stash if I want. I don't actually have anything in the stash. I'd basically destroy for resources everything I'm not using. That's been the way that I've been doing things so far, Mike. But that will change here in the end game as I probably want to keep stuff around a little longer. Oh, thanks, Crusader. Yeah, so the mods are really important. There's other things you can do too. You're constantly fighting these shards. Again, you can do this the whole way through the game too. This isn't just endgame stuff, but you're probably only really going to engage with this stuff in post-game in a meaningful fashion. When you're just going through the campaign, it's not really that important. But here I can up my crit damage. You know, every one of these guns has different stats that you can up. Many different ways to increase your weapon power. Even after you've already selected the, like, you know, the gun that you like. They do not, Venture. But legendary guns like this one have a unique appearance. As you can see here on the landlubber, it's got sort of a, you know, piratey old-timey motif. I think each legendary has its own look. And I could improve this rarity. This is actually a very important thing to do as you go through the campaign. For instance, let's take some crappy rare I got. Let's turn this into a purple. I can't, because I can't afford it. But I could, and it would make it a lot stronger. So you're constantly getting crafting mats that can make your life easier. And I should be min-maxing my gear here at the end. Like, I have this move on this helmet, Cold Snap. I'm not using Cold Snap in my current build, so I'm getting nothing from this helmet except for defenses. Cleansing Wind. I'm not using Fixing Wave, so I'm not getting any benefit from this, you know? So, as I begin to min-max here at the end of the game, I'm going to want to start really looking at these pieces and what they give to me. Gear shaders. I don't think so. Well, actually, well, there is that. Let's go look at that. There's no transmogging, I don't believe. But there is... I think you've just got your raw appearance change. I don't think there is transmog or gear shaders. I could be wrong. I haven't seen anything like that, though. Yeah, just us. I haven't seen anything that lets you do that to your gear kit. That's a really good question.
Caravel must have been a fine ship in its day. When Roy didn't...
So like this little hub right here, this is basically your endgame world, okay? This is where you go on your expeditions and hang out with your friends and do anything else that you're going to do. Which is essentially, at this point in the game, crafting, disenchanting, and spending those delicious drop pod points. Obviously, you get more drop pod currency for the higher risks that you take, but obviously, as you saw during the last run, especially if you're alone, things can get hot and heavy in a hurry, and you can go down, and that's it. You know, no drop pods out of that run. You'll still get loot. You'll still get loot. But you won't get your drop pod resources. Mr. Jägermeister, you cannot change everything out infinitely. So... you can't change the firing type. You can change the stats, and they have set things that you can change. Let me be clear. So this landlubber, for instance, I can modify crit damage, life leech, and long range damage. That's it. Okay, those are the things I can mod on this particular weapon. I would need a different weapon if I wanted to modify different stats. Every weapon has their own different things that you can modify. So if you wanted something different, then you would need to find the gun that has 3 different modifiable slots. There are, however, within the shards, as you can see, quite a few different different modifiers that you can find on your weapons to change up. You know, damage, healing, health, lots of fun stuff. And of course, this is the cool, important one, the leveling up, right? So, like, let's say that I find a legendary that I really like and I never want to change it, but obviously I want to get to level 45, right? The big cap. I can keep paying resources to up the level of my gun or armor. So if I was really in love with the Landlubber and a level 35 sniper rifle dropped and I didn't like that one, I would say, like, you know, I'm going to keep leveling up my Landlubber instead. And I can do that through, this is the most rare of the resources, titanium. But you'll still get plenty of it. But it's going to cost me increasingly more titanium to keep upping this thing if I want to make it my main gun. Alright? Will it probably be my main gun at the end of the day? I don't think so. But I do like it. It's the best thing I've got right now. But again, we are just into the expedition tier content from the campaign, so we're kind of under-geared right now. Which is why even tackling that tier 2 content was tough for me to solo. And we'll get to choose, you know, you get to choose. Like, every time we come back to this drop pod place, it's going to have different missions for me. But because I am fresh out of the campaign, some of these are off limits to me. Scorched Lands, you got to be at least tier 12. Coliseum, tier 8 minimum. Everything else, the rest of the stuff could roll for me, but it didn't, and I could do it. And I could set the difficulty. Heart of the Wild. What do you think? Tier 2, tier 3, tier 1? I let you pick the first time. I'll let you pick whatever you want, but when we die, we are coming home with whatever loot we get, so... Chat's choice! One of my favorite things to do. So, Mr. Jägermeister, the much shorter answer to your question is, weapons do have limits on what they can do and be, but they are also highly customizable within their framework. So, if I find a legendary with a really cool effect on it, Mr. Jägermeister, I could delete that legendary, unlock the mod forever, and stick it on my other legendary. And that would probably be amazing. Right? That's probably what I'm trying to do now. I'm going to find some crazy legendary shotgun that that gives me some wild perk, and then put it on my sniper rifle. See what happens, you know? That's one of the scenarios that could very well happen in this game. Oh, alright. How are we doing? No transmogging, though. That's a drag. It seems like something they could implement, though, yeah? Mods do not change the weapon appearance. Alright. I don't see chat suggesting any tier. What are we going to do? Tier 3. We died on tier 2 last time. Let's do tier 3 and see what happens. If we die fast, it's okay. You could be saying to yourself, Dan, what are you doing? We just saw you die in tier 2. What are you doing tier 3? Well,
I would have sent a party to recover it, but
even if I don't complete the mission, the gear that I do get will be significantly higher quality, right?
I rely on you.
That's the hope. Assuming I can make it out of the first part, which is possibly a very big assumption. And thank you, Venture, for participating in the tier selection process. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Oh, we're going into the woods here. This is going to be lots of monsters. There are basically 2 base enemy types in this game. Monsters and humans. As a sniper, I greatly prefer humanoid enemies because they always toss like 1,000 little monsters at you in these. And they can really get in my way. Now there are some ways and some skills that can help me mitigate this kind of like attack. the game, I really need to have my my focus on doing what I do best. So it would behoove me to have another player, you know, running and gunning up close. To take the attention of these little guys. So I can snipe and annihilate these big dudes. So that's what I do. Like, I got armor piercing, I got plague damage, like it's very powerful when I can get the opportunity to shoot, which isn't all the time. Happy to answer any of the questions you got. Or if you just want to talk about what you had for lunch, that's cool too. And as you can see, this thing, this is sort of a semi-auto sniper. I prefer the bolt action. For even more damage, I probably could have two-shot that big guy, but hey, this is my legendary, okay? That's why I said you should do side quests. I got this legendary during the campaign during the side quests, so... There's probably a ton of awesome stuff that I missed, because I skipped a lot of campaign stuff. Well, no, I obviously didn't skip campaign stuff, I skipped side quests. I was just like, you know, let's get to expeditions, you know, get into the meat. Even if I die much in the beginning, at least I'm in the end game, you know what I mean? And for me, in a game like this, where I didn't find the story too compelling, I'm looking to just get into the end game and start getting loot, you know what I mean? Dedicated healing classes. Man, that's always an issue I love to talk to devs about these days, Venture. I know traditional MMOs still have them, right? But that's about it. I think that people are trying, I know it's a speculation, like, but I think people just want to have options today, right? Like, I know, speaking from experience, back in the old MMO days, there was nothing worse than, like, being a healer and then, like, not having your group around, right? What do? You can't do anything. So, I think a lot of healers can also DPS now. It's created more of a homogenized experience across the board, but one where most people can enjoy the game under most scenarios, even though maybe you don't have such a strong sense of class identity. And this game being more focused on the shooting than anything else, like the class identity is a thing, but certainly the core shooting is at the forefront, so I don't know that this game especially needs to have that kind of class differentiator. If you do still want that experience, Venture, it is out there, you know, you gotta go find it. It's still in the MMO circuit, but I don't know if it's translated into the new generation of, you know, what I would call the pseudo MMO, right? Things like Division, Destiny, games that clearly are using a lot of MMO mechanics and features, but aren't necessarily forced grouping experiences or things like that we know from back in the day. I'm pretty happy with this. Even if we die now, we've killed a lot of stuff, so we should be getting some good loot, even if we fail. Which I assume we will, given the difficulty we put it on. But hey, never count me out, baby. Oh, explosive spiders! That's not even fair. know it's serious when these dudes are taking like these big shells. But these things are critting for thousands upon thousands of damage, right? Just shrugging it off like it's nothing. These are some very, very large creatures. Just gobbling down my bullets like it's nothing. Tier 4 ain't no joke. Again, I think this would be a much better with a friend. Or two. Philly, we will take another look at my skills after the mission. But I got two different kinds of turrets. I have the toxic turret, which shoots poison. I have the ice turret, which shoots ice to freeze enemies, which I think is extremely valuable. And I've got the decay ammunition, which with my spec does obscene damage to single targets when I load it up. Like it'll puncture armor, and the last point in the pestilence tree makes it so that if I hit a toxic enemy, they did 40% more damage. So if I crit somebody with those shells equipped, they just basically instantly die. Boss or no boss, right? Like they're done. So it's again, this is a very single target centric build all the way, which I think works really well, but it needs a little bit of assistance. I need like a tanky friend. A Devastator running shotgun near me would be ideal, I think. To help just keep me safe while I can do my shooting. Because once something gap closes with me, I'm in real trouble. Like, even just one of those little guys can kill me. If they get through. So you can see I really try to keep my distance. And the cryo turret helps a lot with, you know, maybe crowd controlling something that gets through, but... And as you can see here, you may have heard this game as a cover-based shooter, but you will find yourself without cover in a lot of different scenarios. So be ready to handle that. I need to get more ammo. Pretentious Wood, hello! Vorpal, let's go! Let's go! Let's freaking go! Happy Monday afternoon. We are here in Outriders showcasing Technomancer Pestilence gameplay. I hope you're having a great Monday. Mordecai, great question. I do not know if I went the best route at all. I will tell you what my skill tree. We're gonna take a look at my skill tree right after this mission in length. Okay, so stick around. We went over it at the beginning of the stream, but we're gonna take another look at it in just a moment here after I die, or beat the mission, and I will explain to you what the tree does. As you may know, Technomancer, like the other classes, has three very different skill trees, focusing on different strengths. I picked the one that focuses on single target damage, sniper rifles, and ARs. But you will have many different options, and I will show them to you, including what I picked and why. This is. I think this build is really good, but I also think that it would. I kind of need a partner moving forward in the end game, but let's see what happens. I don't think anybody knows the best skill tree right now, Mark Guy. I know the skill tree that I selected, and why I selected it, and what I've been playing around with, but I don't know if anybody has figured out the absolute bestest. And since Philly asked about skills, and we've got a couple questions on board about the skill tree, we'll take another peek at that after we get back to the big board after the expedition. Yeah, I love the Technomancer. I'm enjoying it a lot. But I think it definitely works best in a group. But I think all classes in the endgame are kind of like that, so...
Outrider, I have the approximate location of a pod for you.
Oh, boy. This looks bad. So you can see there, like midway, I turned on my poison ammo. When I noticed it was like 20 mid-level creatures. I was like, okay, we're gonna need some more power here. You'll notice that skill automatically refuel my magazine, which is really nice. So if you're like at the end of a magazine, you get a free reload. And it went on cooldown immediately. This little swarm here is going to be a problem now. I don't know if I can weather it. Now this is tier 3, right? So yeah, this is harder than the last mission we ran. I'm trying to play very conservatively. Use distance to my advantage. You know? Technomancer stuff. You can see that little poison turret does a really good job of actually crowd controlling those little guys. So it might not look like it does a lot, but poison is very valuable. For me especially. Because I get a big damage bonus hitting targets that have poison on them. 40%. That broodmother right there, very, very dangerous. So we switched to the high-profile shells. We're all out of those. We're all out of ammo for my sniper rifle. Switching to the LMG. Collecting some ammo. We got a freeze. See that freeze? I'm telling you, is a huge lifesaver. Now it is crowd control immune now, but when seconds count, freezing is so good. Like I cannot imagine playing Technomancer without the cryo turret. It is so good, and you get it like at the beginning of the game. They do laugh and reload, they do. Most units have a weak spot. And as far as damage types go, I believe that that's also a thing, but I am not certain on that. But as far as locations on the body to hit, yes. Like 95% of enemies in this game are weak to headshots, obviously. For some of these creatures, though, the head might not be in the most obvious location. Or they might protect it. With humans, the head might be guarded by a helmet or something, right? If you're playing my spec, you don't care, because you're going to blow their head off anyway in 2 shots. It depends on your class. That's one of the things I found very interesting about this game, is that before the game came out, everyone was talking about it as a cover shooter, but honestly, there's not a whole lot of situations where you're going to be using cover outside of, like the very, very beginning. You've got to be pretty mobile later on. Even as a sniper. Unlimited toxic wells. I did not know that was a thing. Belaz. Tell me about it. I am using toxic bullets. I didn't know you could get unlimited. Well, you know, this is tier 3 and we made it all the way to the pod, so I consider us all winners already.
All look pretty angry. I get that.
See, for this kind of swarm event, I really, really could use a tank to help me out. Even just a mid-ranger or a frontliner of any kind. Like, this is where I'm gonna die. I can't handle this kind of situation. I don't have time to get control of the situation. Like in any way. And even these little guys can tear me up so hard, so fast. I'll be right with you, chat. Little busy right now. Oh, God.
Sorry, Outrider. I should
You know, we made it all the way to the pod, too. I'm pretty sad. Yeah, I have the high clip, VZ. Anyway, you know, hey, I think that was a pretty good attempt. We don't have anything even close to modded armor or anything VLAS right now. We're just started expeditions. Whenever you kill an enemy, you get 30% mag back. That's amazing. I want to get that. Alright, so remember, we did fail the mission. But we did get through most of the mission, so we're going to get rewards based on what we killed. So it might not look like we got any loot, but here's the fun part, okay? Here's where we get Christmas time. Oh, I see how that works, Vilaz. We should definitely do that. No, melee's great, Mordecai, as anything, but you should absolutely be using your melee as a Technomancer. You get a freeze effect out of it. It's very valuable. But in the situations where I was there, I was rolling away because I was being targeted with lots of long-range stuff as well as the melees. If it was just the melees coming in, I could freeze them and kill them with my fist of power. But I was being targeted by like 50 different enemies there, so it was not a great time to do that. Oh, here we go. How do I have a level 35 helmet? Get out of here. Alright, at least we got better gloves. Very little better gloves. And it's really sad how my legendary sniper rifle is outclassed by some of this trash, but that's where we're at. We need to continue to upgrade. But, as Vilaz says in chat, I should be looking at mods here. It says there's a tier 1 mod that maybe I could stick in my armor. That would increase my potential for poison bullets, which is a big deal for me. Let's see if we have it. As I said, mods are really, really important. Lots of stuff you can do with mods. So as you can see, all these tier 1 mods affect your skills. So I'm assuming that the bladed rounds, 40%. That's the one. Killing shots get you 30% extra. That's really good. Wow. Vilaz was not lying. We're definitely going to do that. You know, I don't even care. Like, I don't care if this chest piece is going away. Like, that's a big move. The more poison rounds we can get, the better. So that's a huge deal. In fact, we should probably mod out some of this other stuff, right? I kind of like that. Let's see what we got here. See, we're not even using scrapnel or whatever. So let's... Obviously, modding stuff out, really big deal toward your endgame progression, right? Like... Wow. Oh boy, yeah. Let's take all the bladed rounds mods and put them into our stuff, right? This is like, again, this is endgame stuff. I didn't want to do it when I was leveling because, you know, you're going to replace that armor immediately. But here, this is a very good idea to mod your stuff out with things that affect the skills that you're using. Alright, yeah, that's a lot. We just really, really drastically improved our performance. Okay. I know we had some questions about the build earlier, so let's take another look at it. We are a Pestilence Technomancer build. All classes in Outriders are essentially divided into three core builds, alright? There's some, you know, you can deviate a little within them. But essentially, you're going to be one of three things, which are clearly labeled for you. Handy dandy. Pestilence, Tech Shaman, or Demolisher. Demolisher really focuses on like skill-based damage, like using rockets and pop-up launchers, stuff like that. The Tech Shaman is more of the support class. This might actually be a really, really good class for doing high-level expeditions. I'm not sure. Certainly possible, though. It seems likely. More focus on healing and survival. And debuffing. So... And then Pestilence is the big sniper single target damage class, for sure. Like, you can just rattle stuff. Again, the decay effect especially, just really, really adding some very serious damage potential to your kit. Yeah, VLS, I believe that. I completely believe that, VZ. Every class has trees. Yeah, the skill that adds vulnerability when you apply Toxic. That one I should probably get. I don't know if I can get that. This is the one right here. I'm one skill point away from it, so there's probably a way to get it within this build. I just have to lose... I'll probably lose Charged Gunshot or something. That would be really good. I wonder if resets cost anything. I don't think they do. Look at that. Yeah, you know, I don't even use any ordnance skills anymore. Oh, yeah, let's go down this way. Alright, sweet. We got the vulnerable toxic. Now we're really good. Oh, wow. Get this one, too. Every time I melee. Increase damage mitigation by 40%. A lot of good protection stuff here in this tree. Survival's good. Alright, so we really beefed up our bullets. See if we can get out, let's see if we can tweak a few other things to help us out a little bit. Because mod and gear is actually really cheap. Wow. We could just go forever. Wait, did I think I put a different toxic mod in there. Hang on, we'll have to... We gotta make sure... No, we got all of our bladed round stuff, right? Bladed rounds, bladed rounds, bladed rounds. Alright, we're good. Toxic lead. We got a mad kit here, yo. And there's a lot of different stuff you can look at, you know, to really kit yourself out. I could really use a little bit of survivability, so I'm kind of looking for something like that. So as you can see, modding your stuff at this point in the game is like a super big deal and can really, really, you know, change everything. We've definitely gotten a lot of like really great stuff going on here. At almost no cost of resources either. You'll have plenty of resources in order to do modding anyway. The other increases can be expensive, but just modding, super cheap. Now, we got a drop pod scenario here. We haven't actually acquired any drop pod resource today because we haven't actually finished an expedition, but we have gotten lots of resources from the expeditions. What do you think, gang? What should we do? What should we turn it up to? What difficulty? I don't know. Silver. What is silver? 2 or 3? I mean, I'm sure the build is great, but I didn't really fix my survivability. We do have way better damage potential now, though. No lie. The healing weave skill, interesting. Alright, you know what? Let's just do it on 4. Let's go for it, right? Let's go big.
Ryder, I caught sight of a strange rock formation in the desert that looks alien, even for Enoch. I suspect it might be the remains of a meteorite that crashed a long time ago. If you retrieve samples from those rocks, perhaps we could better understand what happened there.
Alright. The expedition is beginning. We've got a new build that is going to have more poison than ever, but we are playing on the hardest difficulty I have unlocked. I do not think it will go well. We do need more survivability.
Looks like the Pharaohs built a camp in the impact crater.
These toxic shells just chew through people, though. No doubt on that. And you're right, I basically do have like an infinite mag. Beautiful. Unlimited poison ammo! It's a beautiful thing. I don't even think I needed the sec mod. One's enough, probably. Yeah, LMG, that's... No, it's not a bad idea. With an LMG, you actually would never ever run out of time ammo, would you? The drum that big? It's very good. Alright, if you're out there on YouTube, I cannot see your, I don't think I can see your chat anymore. I'm gonna have to turn YouTube on in a second here. I'll do it after this mission, though. That is a very impressive VZL. That sounds like a really cool build. Considering how effective poison ammo is, like... This is, yeah, it's pretty great. A few mods goes a long way. So decay ammunition is even better when you never run out. I don't think so, Mordecai, but I don't, that's only my guess, you know? I don't think it was designed to be a game of service, right? That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. I mean, there's a lot of games I don't play for months. Not every, you know, not every game experience is designed to be a game of service. I think, and I haven't heard anything to this effect, but I think this game would benefit from more traditional DLC and expansions rather than season passes and stuff like that. I think a raid would be really cool. I just don't know if this game's, you know, designed that way. For me personally, I always want raids, right? That's the thing I always want in games, but I know it doesn't suit every game. Not every game has to be a game of service, right? And sometimes when you try to be a game of service, you know, you're competing against all the other game of services out there, so that can get very exhausting. I don't know what this game would look like as a game of service. I mean, I'm just gonna appreciate it for what it is right now and move on to something else. That's okay too. That's how we used to play games, right?
Beasts found themselves a pod. I'm gonna ask if they're willing to give it back.
The only reason I even bring that up is because the discourse, whenever you bring up a game like this, inevitably shifts to that, right? I'm gonna get an email in 2 weeks, or a month, or 2 months, from somebody who's like, hey, you said this game was good, I stopped playing it after like 300 hours. And I'll just like sort of look at it for a minute, and then I will close my inbox, and I'll go to sleep. Not every game is designed to be played for 1 billion hours. It's just the way it is. And I feel like I'm living in, like, you know, an alternate reality where I have to put a caveat like that for every game. Hi, Kolo. But Mordecai, you definitely should play Warzone for 2,000 hours. And if you're trying to talk to me on YouTube, I will be right there. I don't have the chat up from it right now. I'm gonna fix that in just a second. The restream bot, I think, is letting me down today. If you're on Twitch, well then I see you loud and clear. Dang it! I just need a little more survivability. My damage output is absurd right now. That was tier 4. That was good. 8 minutes. 8 minutes got to the boss. Okay. It's a very, very good increase in our potential just with mods. Alright, I'm gonna pull up YouTube. If you are on something other than YouTube or Twitch, though, I won't be able to see your chat. Because that's Restream Bot takes care of all that. Alright. I got YouTube chat now, too. We're in. We're in. Alright, I got all kinds of chat now. Love it. Sorry if I missed your stuff. Our Restream bot tends to, like, crap out randomly. So I missed chat, but I am now active in all chats, except for Facebook and Periscope. I can see you on YouTube or Twitch now. Alright, let's see what we got from that run. Ooh, a purple gun. Oh, yeah, VLAS, that sounds amazing. A res sounds like it would be very, very helpful. Why is this thing only 10.4K? Man. Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously that res in an expedition is like a huge game changer. Clearly. But I mean, that was a tier 4. That was like me pushing hard content, like really hardcore. Isaiah, is this game worth the buy? That's a great question. That depends on what you're looking for in a game. As we've talked about a lot today, this is not a game of service, okay? This is not going to be your new Destiny. This is not going to be your new, you know, Fortnite. This is not going to be a game that's going to keep giving you stuff to do for months, okay? You'll get through the campaign, and then you'll choose to decide how much expedition content you want to do. If you are comfortable with a game that is good at looting and good at shooting, then yes, it's worth the buy. That is what this game does. It does not... It doesn't try to do anything else. Yeah, Mordecai, I agree. I think, dude, I love Game Pass anyway. It's too bad it's not on Game Pass for PC, you know, but we take it anyway, you know what I mean? Yeah, I think this, if you do have Game Pass, yes, I definitely recommend you try it on Game Pass. It is a single-serving looter shooter, and whether or not that's the right buy for you is up to you and what kind of stuff you like. But as long as you go in with the knowledge, armed with the knowledge of what it is not, then you can make an informed purchasing decision. Is it okay to play solo? Yes, Mark. I have played 25-ish hours solo. I think that the endgame content benefits from having friends or randoms, but it is a completely fine game to play solo. I think the endgame content is tuned so that you'll be rewarded for playing with randoms or people you know, but certainly fine to play solo. Expeditions. I can't believe we almost did a tier 4. Should probably try to push tier 4 again, huh? Oh, we were so close. We just need a little more survivability. And that, Mark, is what I was talking about when I said, you know, other people. You know, it would really help to have a tank in front of me. Or a tankier... There's no real tanks at this point in the game, right? But there's... Taking a few shots is all you need. You know, a few seconds is a lot of time under these conditions. By the way, I'm glad I'm linked back up to seeing YouTube chat. I'm sorry for anybody's chat I can't see or I didn't see. I was not ignoring you. Our restream bot tends to be kind of weird sometimes.
I've been having my filthy way with it for a while. But the last couple of days, none of the miners have reported back. Something must have happened. Can you check on them? And make sure they're not slacking on the job.
I think this game actually does an admirable job at looting, shooting, and weapon customization. And that's it. I think the stuff surrounding it could definitely be better. And
Damn it. Corrigan borrowed mine.
I don't mind that. I just like, again, I know that I probably won't be playing this game in a week. And I'm okay with that. Not every game has to try to like capitalize your whole life. Look how that worked for you know, Marvel. Oh my god.
You can't give up now. There's still gold in that cave.
Still gold in that cave.
It's just begging us to drill it.
Jeez, we're going again. Tier 4. Jeez. You know, I think I could handle tier 3. There's just so much stuff. And yes, we do get loot based on what we did, but, you know, we didn't do a whole lot that time. Look at that. Look at that glorious gun. You know what I gotta say, you know, to this game's credit, you know, one thing I haven't seen yet? I haven't seen any daily quests, and I love that. I feel it feels freeing. The game has daily quests, I'm sorry, but I haven't seen them. God, anytime a game doesn't force me to become a daily active user, I give you bonus points. These are just too thick! These are some of the largest enemies I've ever seen. Oh, I stood in that. That's my bad.
Can't you hear it?
That's my bad.
Begging us to drill it.
But surviving to that point was hard enough. So you might be asking, why do you have a retry button if you can just restart the mission? Great question. The reason is because the higher tier missions cost resources to get into. So if you're putting your drop pod points into the pot to get into a really cool mission, you're obviously more incentivized to take another few more tries at it rather than just porting out and zooming back in.
Damn it. Corrigan pushed too far with the mining, and his people are dead.
This is just an obscene amount of enemies, yo. These aren't like the little babies. These are like very chonky enemies. Especially the broodmother. Mothers. But this time we weathered the storm. Somehow. Some way. We got there. I hope everyone's having a great Monday. Welcome to Game Informer Live. We're playing Outriders today. Technomancer. We got poison ammo. We got lots of poison ammo.
Now I know what chewed up Corrigan's miners.
Oh yeah, we figured it out. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a great one. I can't believe we beat the first part of that. I'm actually going to wait for my poison bullets to go on cooldown. Because without them, I can barely touch these things. That's basically because my gun is not great for this tier. We'll get there, though. We'll get there. Alright. Yeah, VZ, I think that's on another spec, right? You can get turret health and everything. Oh my god, are you serious right now? This level is absolutely wild. Tell you what though, unlimited poison bullets is really, really good. And the only reason we haven't even had a chance of surviving. Dun dun dun. This place is kind of dangerous. Anybody notice that? I mean, as you can see, there's no cover in this area either. So, like, if you were trying to play this as a cover-based shooter, there are some levels and scenarios that you simply can't. God.
There's still gold in that cave.
All right, that's a little much.
It's just begging us to drill it.
It's a little much, I'd say. Yeah, it is. I mean, it is the hardest content I can do right now, Mordecai. It's the hardest I've got unlocked. Obviously, it goes much further, but I just like it's. I just can't hack it right now. I need more. I need more stuff. I think.
Zahidi told us everything about the caravan, money.
And yes, I was told that there's a button to pick up everything, but I like picking up all the new stuff. So. Absolutely, Rawl. This is so we're in post game right now, and I still think everything can be done solo. I'm sure, but I think the post game is more tailored toward group content. If you want to engage with it, I don't think you're forced to do it by any means, but I definitely think it is designed for that with that in mind. Like, you know, maybe it's time to start hanging out with other folks. You're not forced to. But I think you get a benefit from it. And again, there's like all kinds of different ways we can tweak our stuff here. So, this is the time in the game where you're going to start doing that. It's, you know, swapping around mods, upgrading your gear. Obviously, I've got a lot more to go in the gear upgrade department, like a lot more. My landlubber just doesn't cut it. It just doesn't. But we are leveling it up. So it is slowly but surely becoming a tier weapon. Like, this is actually, you know, with all the points I just put into it, it's actually becoming a pretty serious weapon. I don't know if I want it to be, but, you know, it's what we got right now, so... Oh, and as we get bigger, like I said, we're stuck on tier 4. We haven't been able to beat a tier 4 encounter. We haven't been able to get any drop pod resources, but again, we have been pushing, right? So wait, how about we do one and we don't push? How about that? What do we think? 1 or 2? We could definitely handle that, right? What do you think? 1, 2, 1. Should be freaking easy mode. I just want to win one, right? Let's just get through one before we say goodbye. And I don't want to say goodbye. We're not saying, you know, I'm just saying, like, you know, we got to get through one, right? Tier 1, we should definitely be able to handle tier 1. VZ, I would have done tier 2 because I think we can handle it, but I already picked tier 1. This is going to be too easy, you're right. But hey, maybe I'll get into legendary.
Diago was right about that hum. My teeth are chattering from the vibration. Strange structure. Some kind of switch over there.
Because we almost did 4, right? Almost. These little guys are the worst, man. I'd rather have big dudes. Oh yeah, wow. You see the difference between that Broodmother and the one we did on tier 4? I mean, wow, that's a difference. That thing went down in like one shot. Alright, tier 1 was probably too easy. But we're gonna get a drop pod, okay? We got 0 recorded drop pods today. Plenty of gear, but no drop pods. So let's get a drop pod, get some loot. So this is the tier you're supposed to do like right after the campaign. As you can see, we're doing it pretty easily, pretty quick.
Weird.
Get that time bonus, you know what I'm saying?
Nice view. An obelisk mechanism in the middle. Could be the way forward.
Could be. So you can see we have another Circle of Death scenario here, just like we did in the level before this. However, I think this one is probably going to end up a little differently because we can actually handle the monsters coming in. Number one, we're not getting one shot, or two shot, technically, by their attacks. Number two, they die in one shot instead of 50. And these make a pretty significant difference in the gameplay. Not that it's, you know... Not that you'd want to do this. You try to find one that would, you know, test you a little bit. Right? You don't want something that's super easy for your tier advancement. But then again, you don't want to get creamed either, because then you won't get any rewards. For drop pods. You want to get those drop pod resources. Because if you save up a few thousand, you can buy yourself a level 45 legendary piece, okay? And that'll get you there. This tier 1 event will probably only get us like 30 drop pods. So that's better than 0. Let's see. We just do so much more damage, it takes so little damage in comparison to, Hey Marquise, this is the Landlubber sniper rifle with its parent mods, so I haven't changed it.
Brewing. I need to hurry.
This is a legendary sniper rifle that creates landmines and fireworks on hits, so pretty good for doing AoE punch. Now, obviously, you can mod it with your own legendary mods, but
Well, is it triggering the storm?
I like it as it is. It's called the Landlubber. That's a great question, VZ. I know you get extra, like, you know, gear. I don't think you get more drop pods, but let's find out. We're gonna hit the time bonus on this, so... Those poor behemoths. Feel sorry for them. It's a good sniper rifle, Marquis, but I prefer the single shooters, but this is the only legendary sniper rifle that I found, so I'm using it. Basically, it's the story there. Nice, see? Look at that. Nice, easy pod claim. We did it. Beat the timer. I mean, come on, it was tier 1.
Outrider.
Talk about setting yourself up for a win, right? But
There's a well here, spewing an
so we did get the bonus rewards from the time, but
That's what's causing
it doesn't look like we got any additional drop pod resources for that. So if drop pod resources are your main focus, don't worry about the timer. But we did hit the bonus loot from the timer.
Outrider detected. Access granted.
Look at all that loot. And that's just a tier 1. That's just a tier 1. Oops, I accidentally equipped one of those items. We didn't want to do that. Oh god, I don't know which one I equipped. Toxic lead, that one's good, that one's right, okay. Huh. Oh god, it was a gun. But wait, that was a mistake. Alright. Oh yeah. So we got way more epics from this drop than no legendaries though. No legendaries. Which is what we trade in here. Sure, we can handle a tier 1. You want to see the sniper rifle, Marquis? It is a landlubber. It is not outfitted with anything but the normal. So it's got the skill that it comes with, which is legendary minefield. Which I might want to take it out. You know, critical strikes do an explosion around the target. I don't know that that's a great ability. I think we could probably do better. But for my legendary mods, I don't have a whole lot of stuff to draw from, you know? I got, I don't have anything that I really think that I am like, oh, I gotta trade this out. I got, what do we got? We got, killing shots turn enemies into an anomaly bomb, dealing 8,000 damage. That's probably better than the minefield, because I kill a lot of things. Killing shots give you protective golem effect. That might be good for survivability. The time rift on enemies, that's very good for survivability. Like, basically anything here is probably better than the minefield. And it's pretty cheap to swap these mods around. I don't know. Alright, well, we did it. We did it. We're swapping legendary effects now. We're in game. Oh, need more titanium. See, we can stick with this gun. We just have to get the titanium, which isn't that hard to come by, actually, with these capsules. Alright, we got 75. We could pay money. Well, we could pay... Sorry, we could pay drop pods to try the Drought Palace. But it costs 60 drop pods, which is a currency that you can buy really cool gear with. So I would have to be really sure that I could beat this mission before spending pods on this. So, yeah, so we're not going to do that. Let's try a tier 3 before we get to the end of the stream here, okay? Let's crank it up. Let's do tier 3. See if we can handle it.
Near a sacred monument in the ancient ruins.
If we can't, we can't,
Bound
but
to have attracted the wrong kind of attention. Be careful, my friend.
we want to be able to say we tried, right? Poison ammo all day. Defeat the captain. Okay.
Looks like Kang's fighters have already set up camp.
We gotta be careful with enemy snipers. Oh boy. Man, that anomaly bomb is pretty useful, I think. I blow up one guy charging at me, it kills the other one. So that's probably better than the minefield that only does 2,000. I still don't love that effect either, though. I think I might as soon as I can change it out, I will. I need more legendary effects. Snipers are really brutal, yeah. You know, once a sniper gets a beat on you in this game, they basically don't miss. Hey, Jupiter, what's up? Like, they are basically going to shoot you. Snipers are super annoying. And very dangerous. One of the few times in this game that actually using cover is advised. We got armor-piercing, explosive bullets. And then just in case they don't kill you, they poison you. Not the best way of concern because they kill you. I'm pretty pleased with the damage output. Like, this is tier 3. This is tier 3 and we just 3-shot a Demolisher. That's pretty good. We've definitely been modding to find our path on the damage front. The survivability front is where we're hurting. So that's the next thing to correct. Dude did not stand a chance. Yes. That is very true. It's a legendary sniper. I think I got it at like level 27 and I've just been leveling it up. This is definitely a very scary lineup of snipers.
Seize that pod. It's gonna be
All right.
mine after all.
I was gonna call it after this one, but since we died, we're gonna try it again. I didn't know that dude was behind me. 3 minutes, whatever. E.R. Garner says OP. I don't think so. It's a strong sniper rifle, but it's not OP. It's heavily modded. Heavily modded. This is endgame stuff. I bet the Pyromancer can do endgame modding like crazy stuff too. Everybody can. Yeah, that's a good idea, VZ. You've had lots of good advice today. I do need more survivability. The whole game can be played co-op, yeah. Or solo. In campaign, it's drop in, drop out. In expeditions, you have to team up before you do a mission. But yes, you can play anything but the tutorial with a friend, or 2 friends, or randoms. Tutorial, you gotta play solo. Is this Anthem or Destiny? Surprisingly, it is neither game. It is Outriders, actually. Good question, though. Good question. Did chat see what you did there? Yes, you did something incredible. You know, hey, I'd like the Technomancer too, BZ. That's what I went to. I've enjoyed it. I think there's other cool classes too. Maybe I'll try one someday, I don't know. But I like the tech. The tech is my boy. Wow, that is a ton of very dangerous enemies. What is... That's why this mission's hard. Look at that. Wow. That's a lot of dudes. With a pretty powerful array of attacks, including specials. Alright, maybe I wasn't ready for tier 4. We got spreading poison, you know. Oh god, snipers. Alright, we need to chill out. We just need to chill out for a second, assess the situation. Try not to get killed by the flame wave that's going to keep following me around. Play defensively a little bit. We don't need to beat the timer on this. Yeah, the fire tornado it may look pretty, but you don't want to get hit by it, Corgi. I bet that's a surprise. Alright, we stabilized the thing. Let's try to get back in it. Carefully. Carefully, he says as his life points go to 0. These combatants are very rough. I think I'd rather be fighting the monsters. These have like all kinds of different like ability kits. Yeah, co-op, again, you can play solo. Completely fine. But I think some of this endgame stuff is better if you've got some, if you're working together. That is not to say that they can't be completed solo. I'm sure they can. And I'm sure they will be. Just that little multiplayer would help. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Things get pretty nasty out here in the expedition world when you dial up the expedition tier. You get many strong enemies coming at the same time with lots of different abilities and skills. These aren't so much bullet sponges as the monsters, but they have really nasty kits that can kill you really fast. And that's the problem with the humans, too. They have just so many snipers, which are, as you can see, incredibly annoying and lethal. Yeah, there are, like, basically Division-style Berserker enemies, yeah, that will come around boxes and break you out of cover. Although in this game is not nearly as cover-based as Division. You're going to be, even as a class that thrives on cover, like my Technomancer, cover is not a constant. I think you're going to be pretty mobile on whatever class you play. If you want to live anyway. Cover is basically a luxury and a sniper deterrent. The enemies have a lot of abilities to force you out of cover. A lot of them. Most of them are not content to just sit there and like, pick at them. We're doing pretty good. For a tier 4 mission, we're going to definitely come out of this with a lot of upgrades, that's for sure. No matter what happens.
There's a sealed gate leading to the monument.
Oh no.
Doesn't look like Kang had any luck. Must be a way
Not
back.
one of these. This is going to be really hard on tier 4. I just don't have the survivability. Yeah, you definitely should be. If you're disappointed with server issues, I completely agree with that. They have been down a lot since launch. That's definitely been frustrating if you wanted to play at certain times. It's too bad. Hopefully they have them fixed now. Oh yeah, that brings up the whole, like, always online discussion. Yeah. Why do you have to play a single-player game always online? I hear ya. Yeah, you know what? I like Remnant a lot. I don't think, you know, Remnant's a game I really like. I scored it an 8.5, I think. I enjoyed it quite a bit. There's sort of that. This is obviously a game much different than Remnant, but I can see the, I can see how you can make that connection. I can see that. This is essentially a pure looter shooter, you know, straight up. Looting, shooting. No frills. I'll say this. They got the looting right and the shooting right. So, that's good. I don't know if everything surrounding them is stellar, but hey. I mean, in my experience, everything surrounding it is not stellar. But the looting, the shooting, and the modification feel good. Those aspects of the game I enjoy. They did good there. Are we gonna actually get to the boss on tier 4 at least? That would be sweet. Oh yeah, I think the story is awful, MRI Gamer. I think it's terrible. I don't like it at all. I think many of the side trappings are subpar. But I think the game does a very good job at the core concepts that I like, the systems and mechanics. The guns, the shooting, and the modification and customization of those systems. I think a lot of the stuff around those things, I don't love at all. The story is cringe, in my opinion. I know there's going to be some guy on the internet that comes at me for it, but hey. Whatever. You like what you like. Enjoy it. Tinkering with your guns and your armor and making your build perfect is enjoyable. So is using those guns on the enemies. As a systems and mechanics player, I am inclined to enjoy those aspects rather than, even if the story was like, you know, decent, I probably wouldn't care in a game like this. So, I don't really care that the story is no good either. Do I really need a reason? Do I really need a motivation to just annihilate 1,000 monsters? Not really. Could the game use more enemy variety? Absolutely. You know, Garner, I've been looking at that game too. That's out soon, right? I'm interested to see where that one lands. We may have overstepped our bounds a little bit with this tier 4 nonsense. Oh god, poison bullets, come back! Okay, I got hit by like a giant AoE there that I have no idea where you came from. It was a good run. Yep, D-time, that's certainly possible. It is a repetitive structure, and you could get bored of it. That's absolutely a concern. A few hours of dumb fun? I consider it more than a few hours of dumb fun. But yes, dumb fun. I mean, yeah, Garner, that's, that is the basic loop for you. I haven't had any problems with the online connection when the connection has been available, Tom. I don't think anyone is under any illusions that they didn't have a lot of problems with the connection for the launch window. Well, we should probably have gotten a lot of upgrades from that run. It being a tier 4. So at the very least, we should probably be able to upgrade our gun to the next tier. And we did not. We did not get many upgrades from that. Well, that's very surprising to me and kind of disappointing. But hey, crafting mats, yo. We can level up our gun. Nice. Look at that. Get another level 34 now for the big gun. I need more legendaries, man. I need like more legendary mods to put in this. The bombs ahead is. I need survivability. I think it's pretty freaking clear after that last run that we have no problem with the damage output. The problem is in survivability. So we're gonna change it to a different legendary mod. Golem skin. That should help us a little bit in the survivability department. So this is post-game, MRI Gamer. And you can kind of... The post-game experience has 15 big levels of difficulty, which are sort of, again, making an allusion to something that you know, is very similar to Diablo 3's Rift system. You get all the loot at the end, you play through different things, you fight a boss at the end, you get paid out. The gear and drop rate's pretty good, pretty good. It's a decent clip. Like you said, you know, you're gonna get in, you're gonna go pew pew, you're gonna get loot, you're gonna get upgrades, you're gonna mod your gear, you're gonna craft your gear, and then you're gonna go find more. And at the end, you know, this is post game right now, so you got these you know, macro goals. You're at the expeditions here. I'm glad the game has a real end game. If it was just a campaign, I would have been pretty disappointed with it, to be honest with you. This expedition sort of, like I said, I hate to keep saying using another game as an example, but if you know what Greater Rifts are like, you know what I'm talking about here. Where you go through the experience, you kill a boss at the end, rinse, repeat, and you do it over and over, and you get tiers, okay? All the way up to this mysterious Eye of the Storm, which is minimum tier 15, which is level 45-ish gear and enemies, which is really big. Am I going to get there? Maybe, probably not. I don't know. I figure for me, this game has like another week or so left of game time for me, and then I'll probably move on. But we discussed that earlier in the stream. Go, you know, check the highlights. We talked about like not every game has to be a game of service, and for me, I kind of refreshed that this game doesn't have any daily quests assaulting me every time I log in, or a battle pass or any of that nonsense. I kind of enjoy the purity of it. You shoot things and you get loot. And when you're done with the game, you put it away, and you're not... there are no hooks to keep pressuring me to play. When I'm done, I'm done. Sure, Tom, I'm not telling you to play it. You make your own decisions in your gaming choices. I encourage you to continue to do so. I can only inform you about the game. That's what we're playing. And I think that's going to be it for today's stream, everybody. I want to thank everybody for coming out. It was a blast. Sorry that I missed YouTube chat there for so long. I love chatting with you. That's half the fun, right? Thanks to the Twitch crew. Thanks to the YouTube crew. Facebook and Periscope, I didn't get to see any of your chat because our restream bot failed me. But know that I think you're awesome too, and I bet you had amazing comments and questions. And I had a great time talking to you, even though you couldn't talk back. So, Welsh, yeah, we you know, not to dwell on this topic, Destiny 2 is obviously a game of service. That's a lifestyle. You know, you're playing that game for more than 2 weeks, for more than a month. You're going to go back to it. if this game gets content down the line, it's probably going to be DLC or expansions, right? It's not going to be a game of service model. That I, at least that I know about, right? That's not how it's constructed. There's plenty of stuff here to do, but it's not that kind of structure, right? There's definitely room for teamwork with your friends, I think that's what these expeditions are for. If you watched any of the gameplay here tonight, like, there's definitely a benefit to teaming up, taking on these encounters, and moving through it. I don't know how interesting it's going to be in the long term. Like, you're still going to be fighting those beasts and those warriors till the end of time, hoping to get some legendary drops. But I feel like as far as the campaign goes, this expedition part is more interesting and more interesting to me as a systems and mechanics player. I didn't enjoy the story or the campaign segment stuff at all, but this really just lets you get into the meat, right? Get new loot, upgrade your loot, mod yourself out, blast away, blast better. I'm okay with this, and I've been enjoying my time with it for what it is, and I think that's important to define what it is in comparison to other products that, whether or not the comparison is warranted, they are being compared. It's being compared to it left and right, anyways, right? So I think it's important to make those considerations. All right. I think we're going to wrap things up here, gang. I have had an amazing afternoon with you at Game Informer Live. I hope you had a great time, too. And I hope to see you again real soon. I hope you enjoyed exploring Outriders expeditions with me and checking out the Technomancer. Maybe we'll be back with some more Outriders someday. Maybe not. But either way, it's been a blast hanging out with you. And we will catch you next time. Take it easy, gang. You've all been a blast to talk to. Bye.